actually knows what he's doing with a soundboard.
Yeah, he's been doing it for
you guys
about a week or so.
Well, okay.
Yeah, he's
14 years.
Yeah, he's been part of. Can we say the name actually? He's been actually part of Alpha Media,
right,
which is up there in Portland area. He's been with Lars Larson as the traffic, but I mean, we'll actually talk to him. We'll actually give him the headset and everything else, but. We got in touch with him. I actually got in touch with Danny Dwyer and said, "Hey, look, man," I said, "I'm kind of this and this. Actually, got some Portland Pickles tickets. Actually, won those off of 98 of the Bowl.
I'd ask for a trade.
Yeah,
I'm not playing for the Pickles.
I love the Pickles. I've never seen a Pickles game yet, but I think I heard that they're cool as hell. But Danny Dwyer, man, I cannot. This guy. With 98 of the Bowl afternoons, if you guys listen to him, he is absolutely the coolest dude. He's Austin Henderson, the 69 truck. He's his stepdad. I mean, he's just when it comes to like 98 of the Bowl, he's just a cool person.
So
in general,
he got you hooked up.
Got me hooked up. Walked up there, actually talked to their front desk lady that actually does podcasting, and I've known that. And I said, hey, kind of shooting some stuff, and she goes, hey, I can't really give you much because I don't know much. I just plug and play, but I know this guy. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, who's this guy? And she goes, well, he just came from Texas, came back up here, blah, 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 and his name is Jeremy Scott. And I said, all right, well, let me get in touch with this Jeremy Scott guy. So I called him up and Facebooked him and so on and so forth. And he says, hey, how about we just do this? How about I go down there with you? And I got some new things and stuff that you guys can try. And we're actually going to pass the mic and stuff to him here real quick. And
let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Because we owe Jeremy a huge thank you. I mean, if you haven't heard the difference in the quality of the sound on this broadcast as opposed to the ones in the back, he sat here for a little while. We made some adjustments on the board. I mean, he tuned this thing in like Norm Davis on a Swartz.
Whoa,
you know what I mean?
Bad fast. He was doing stuff on the computer. Like he's like, okay, well, you guys need to do this and you do this. Okay, well, just turn. I'm like,
Josh and I are looking at each other like he's speaking Chinese and he's going
way
too
talk.
fast. So you set it up. We'll talk tonight. We'll go over this throughout the weeks.
He's been listening on the podcast and stuff through headsets and everything else. So he's been
he's been making adjustments to the show. Do this, do that. You guys won't hear this in the background, but I'm telling you, it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad to have him.
So I'm actually pass the mic over to him here real quick and stuff because we only have 2 mics as of right now. We're gonna update that and stuff. But Jeremy, here we go real quick.
What's up, Corey? How are you?
Good, man. Welcome to the show, Northwest Dirt News.
Glad to be here. I have no track expertise whatsoever, so don't ask me anything knowledgeable.
And during the broadcast, your face has shown that multiple times, but it's kind of like we're speaking our own language.
Long day, right?
Right. But again, thank you for the quality of the sound and getting the board dialed in. And
you know what? You guys can sound about 10 times better than this too, which will probably blow your mind.
And that's what we're excited about because he's been throwing ideas out that Josh and I are looking at each other like, what just happened? I mean, it just went nuclear in the studio, but we're excited to see what happens here in the coming weeks. Now, we did buy some new equipment from Jeremy that has really helped out with the sound. So, again, man, glad to have you on board. Glad to
you guys do a great job. Your camaraderie is top notch, and I'm not just saying that because we're sitting here. I've actually been in radio for more than half my life, and you guys are natural. You guys should be on the national stage here pretty quick.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. So, yeah, hopefully with what he's done, it kind of pushes us along. But
my question is, how do you get a word in edgewise? I mean. You guys never take breaks. It's amazing.
It's racing. We're supposed to go from 6 to 8, and we're already 2.5 hours in. So yeah, it's 8:30. So fans are probably starting to shut it down and go to bed. We went 3 hours last week. Maybe we'll make it a 3-hour show every week. I don't know. If it sounds this good, I might just stay on the mic all night. Huge thanks to you, Jeremy. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's been awesome to have you, and it's been fun to have you in the studio, and we're looking forward to the next few weeks and some more features that Jeremy's actually bringing to the show.
This man is absolutely. When I got in touch with him, and he says, how long I've been doing this, and I'm like, okay, and then looking at his website and listening to his stories and listening to the background, I'm like, dude, we gotta have you, man. And he's like,
well, and the funny thing was, you called me.
I said, you gotta listen to this. I got some good.
No, he calls me. First, it's a text. Call me as soon as you get this.
Right.
I'm with customers. I can't. It's loud in here. So I finally called Josh, and Josh is like, dude, settle down, get
I
off the
so
throttle.
I was like a teenage girl, man. I was so giddy.
I know. And I'm just like, what in the heck is wrong? So he starts talking to me. Now I'm getting excited. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? So you guys
Sent
show
you some
up here,
pictures and
bought some new equipment. The sound is better. The ideas that are coming that are going to just improve the show over the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be so much easier for you, the listeners and stuff.
Easier on their ears.
Yeah, right?
So,
it's going to be so much
but
better,
yeah, it's
man.
going to be awesome. And, just really glad to, to have Jeremy on board and for him to even say, hey, yeah, I'll help you. I mean,
yeah, it's just, to me, it's amazing. I mean,
it's a pretty cool deal. You ready to talk late models?
Let's talk late models.
Get ready.
Okay, 2.5 hours in, let's talk late models.
Dude.
So I told you your segment goes longer than mine.
Well, that's because, whatever.
Because you're a bigger track.
No, whatever. It's not. Quit being mean. So.
All right, you can buy me dinner.
We're gonna go late models. Okay.
All right.
Now this was cool. This was a good field of cars. And we only had 16 show up, but we had 16.
And you know why? Is because a lot of these drivers do double duty in late models and modifieds.
Right.
And everybody was down there at Cottage Grove for the Nationals.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
We had 16 cars, but we had 16 badass fast cars. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So qualifying, fast qualifier of the night, Rob Maya, 16.068. That'll give you kind of an idea. The track wasn't what I would call spectacular.
Right.
It
Dry,
was hot.
slick.
It was hot. But top to bottom, and again, kudos to Nofziger. The dude is, when it comes to track prep, you're not going to find anybody better in our region, arguably on the West Coast. He's taking that knowledge passed down from Claire Arnold and Bill Arnold, who they know how to make a racetrack that's 3 lanes wide, that's smooth, that's racy, and these guys are loving it.
Right.
So Rob Maya, 16.068, fast time. Kai Frick out of Sweet Home in the Swartz.
I haven't heard of him this year.
He's been on a couple times.
Has he?
He hasn't been on a regular basis. Second fast with a 16.086.
Wow.
0.018 second different.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not that's good for coming out.
Both of them turned their fast lap on the second of 3 laps. Okay. Steve Moore and Tomas Hunziger were the dash cars.
Steve Moore in the 21.
With Maya, Frick, Moore, and Hunziger. Okay. Rob Campos in the 9 car. We've talked about him. I told you last week, keep your eye on that 9 car. Go listen to the show. I said it. He's coming on. He was fast in the heat races.
Right.
The car, Dragger Performance helping him out. GRT chassis. They're getting that thing dialed in. He was 5th fast. 6th fast qualifier, Joey Tanner. In the 67 owned by Dave Walters. Tanner's car is out at X Factor getting doctored up.
Some work done,
yep. Yeah. Randy Boyd, Jimmy Schramm was the fast heat. The second heat was Dan Dybel, Darren Koffel, Mike Johnson out of Lompoc, California.
He came up, huh?
He drove Maya's car.
Yeah, good deal.
Now, last time Mike Johnson showed up at Willamette Speedway in a Maya car, he won the Claire Cup in 2011.
Huh.
And
imagine how that worked out.
Go in California and say Mike Johnson. That's a name. That's a name. Okay.
He talked to Moxie Mike and everything too. He knows him down there. Yeah,
absolutely. Trent Elliott, Todd Sieg, Jason Wines made an appearance at Willamette Speedway.
Really? He hasn't been out there for a couple of years.
Yeah. Showed up in the Superman car of Colin Weinbarger.
Yep.
Guess who else came back to Willamette Speedway this week?
Who's
Always good. We've only seen him 2, 3, 4 times a year, but we got to see a sighting of former champion Bob Boyd.
Bob Boyd
in the 97.
Man.
And Tom Lawson showed up from down in the Eugene area. So it was
Hell
good.
Yeah.
Now the difference was 16 cars. Okay, this is a pretty competitive field of cars. The difference between first and 16th was 1.3 seconds. Okay, pretty good.
Right.
Difference. That being said, from first to 13th was 0.8. 8/10 of a second. 13 cars and 8/10 of that. It's pretty good.
That's quick.
Yeah, pretty good field of cars. Let's go to the Trophy Dash. Dash cars were Frick, Maya, Hunziker, and Moore.
Now Moore's got that new 21 car.
That's an X Factor.
Oh, it's an X Factor.
That's what
car,
Joey Tanner drives. He's teammates with Joey Tanner, but Steve Moore won it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Now here's the thing. I'm going to talk about Steve Moore on a couple things here, but Steve Moore, it clicked. It happened. They got that car figured out.
Right.
Because he was fast. Now you got Maya, Frick, and Hunsker. Those are, I mean, they're
and
all fast.
Maya's always fast too. I mean,
well, you know it. I mean,
yeah.
he's a 4-time and he's the defending champion. 4-lap dash, Moore, 0.9 of a second over Rob Maya. Almost a full second. I mean, Steve Moore was dialed. Yeah, he just. I mean,
did he ever lift?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But and Steve Moore is a good driver.
Yeah, he is. In anything, I mean, he came up there, to Sunset at the beginning of the year
in the modified.
Then drove Sonny Modoff's late model and finished literally right behind Jerry Schramm.
Right.
Schramm ran the bottom, and
Steve's upstairs.
Steve's way upstairs, and he was racing on old tires. And basically just burned him off, and Schramm was around the bottom and won that main event. But I mean, he's fast and
Steve's a quality driver. He knows how to be fast.
He
knows how to get everything out of a race car. So he wins the dash. Rob May is second. Frick and Hunsker were the running order. And remind me, we're gonna talk about Steve Moore when I'm done talking about this. Okay. So heat race number 1. Okay. It had been, I want to say 4 years. I remember what I heard right from the crew. 4 years since this driver sat behind the wheel of a late model, and he won heat race number 1.
Must be talking about Wines.
3.8 seconds.
Wines.
In the Colin Weinberger car.
Shut up.
He 3.8 seconds.
Almost 4 seconds. That's literally well over half a track.
Gone. Put the hammer down, and it looked like...
Where did he start?
He started, I want to say he started on the pole.
And just took off.
You put Jason Wines on the front row.
Right.
I don't care what kind
Especially
of car
in the Colin in the Superman car?
Well.
Come on.
Yeah.
That car is dialed
Jason,
in even when...
You want to talk about a quality
But Jason's a badass driver.
Well, he's one of those guys, again, that can get in anything and be fast.
Yeah, right?
He's done it so long. And when you want to talk about a driver, remember all the years he ran Super Sports?
All day long.
I mean... Arguably, and I've said it 100 times, probably the best driver I've ever seen on the slick tires.
I loved racing with him when I drove the 50 car when Inglegal went up to the late models and stuff after his dad built him that new RCR chassis. I still have pictures and stuff of him, sitting side by side going into 3 and 4. I mean, that was he and such a smooth, talented driver.
That's the thing, and that's why I say on the slick tires. You put drivers on slick tires. I got to say, Jason's probably the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, he just knows how they work,
and he knows how to be smooth, and he's just good. Mike Johnson was second.
Oh, bless you.
Sneezer.
If you can see what just happened or whatever, is that the new equipment and stuff that we bought are brand new to us headphones with the microphone hooked into it, and I got Corey over here.
Okay, good. I'm good.
You sure? His
allergies are kicking in. It's getting hot in
watering.
So Mike Johnson in the backup car from Mayo was second. Trent Elliott, Darren Koffel, Dan Dybel, Todd Sieg, Tom Lawson. Wines and Johnson. Top 2. A guy that hadn't been in a car in 4 years, and a guy that hadn't been to Willamette in 5 years. Top 2 cars. I mean, interesting. Darren Koffel was 4th behind Trent Elliott. A good race.
That's good for Trent, though, too.
Well, listen to this. Heat race number 2. This was your fast heat, okay? Rob Campos, Frick, Hunsker, Maya Moore, Tanner, Jimmy Schramm, and Randy Boyd. Randy Boyd got the win. Here's one of those guys, again, that can take what we call less than stellar equipment.
Right.
And be just wicked fast.
Right.
You don't want to give Randy an inch because he's going to take
a mile.
And he's going to beat you. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you show him some daylight anywhere.
And he's going to take it, and he's going to kick that door in, and it's going to
he is.
Yeah. So he won the heat race, but listen, Jimmy Schramm was second, 0.03.
Really?
Yeah, good race.
Good for him, man.
So Schramm was second to Boyd. Joey Tanner finished third. Steve Moore, Rob Maya, Hunsker, Frick, and Campos. That was your fast heat.
Now Tanner back in that crate car.
Let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's talk about it. We went 40 laps for the feature. Top 9 cars.
I'm sure the person that was the finish behind him doesn't want to talk about it, but yeah, let's talk about this race.
Man, I'm telling you, when these two drivers get together, it just all it does is stir up the argument of open motors and crate motors, but I've got to tell you, Joey Tanner, this kid has just come alive.
And that Walters car
The
is
Dave
just
Walters owned All In Property Investments LLC.